Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. We're live and in person. Welcome, everybody. So here I am on my back porch. This is kind of pretty awesome, if I must say so myself. And so we're here, live Q&A call. And I don't think anybody has shown up. Let's see something here. You know, all right, so look, it's such a fun way. So I actually just created a new Trailblazer profile. I didn't want to create one, but I ended up doing it anyway. And let me tell you why it's a pain, right? Because, and I finally got to some help, but like Salesforce, you have to be very careful about the email you use. I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to shift the method of getting people comfortable with having multiple usernames, one email, one place to bring them all together. It's a Trailblazer account. So I cranked up a Trailblazer account, and I used my email address. Let me show you how I set that email address up. So I create an email address that has my username is influenced by my email address. So my email address, I add it with Gmail or a G Suite account. You can add a tag or an identifier to every inbound email you receive by using a plus sign. So what I did, that messes things up. And I realized I've been doing it to myself because a lot of people just create new accounts, use the same email, and it automatically synchronizes. But I was having some other issue with the way that I was doing that. And I realize now because it might be because of the email. So let's see if I can add, see if I can do this and add. Can I add emails? Yeah, I can. I think I can start connecting other accounts. I'm using a crappy little mouse right now. So if I just wonder what would happen if I added my normal email address, see what happens there. And let's see, I got my verification code on the phone. I'm not going to look at all these. Am I in the wrong Zoom meeting? Yeah, I'm live streaming. Patrick says we're in a different meeting. 871. I don't know why it doesn't do like I'm saying what it needs to do like that. You taking off? I don't know why. Oh, we got a registration. I don't know what's going on. So here we are. I'm there. Patrick says he's here. Let's call Patrick. Oh, there's Patrick. He said he was in the meeting. I don't know where he was. Hello, Patrick. Here you're just coming on board. Very cool. Welcome, welcome. We're live on YouTube. What are your questions, Patrick?
I'm supposed to have a question.
You don't have to have questions, but we are live on YouTube, and I don't know if this will be good content or not. Are you on the? Let me look at my gallery view. Nope, you're not there yet. You're not showing your video. Are you?
I wasn't prepared for showing my face to
Hey,
the
preparation is the better part of skill, I guess. Hey, man. So look, we're here live. We got a question. We got a question from a guy named Patrick who registered for the event, who's not here. Wenzel. Hang on a second. Let me get this code that I got distracted on. I'm logging in. So I was talking about. Yeah. Let's see. Yes, got it. Hold on. So I was trying to log in. Yeah, I still don't know how to get into our marketing cloud, but we'll get there. We'll get there.
Well, I got a response from my ticket from somebody named Gary, who is definitely not actually Gary.
Oh, 29801. Am I sharing my screen yet or no?
No, just.
Oh, so I'm just zoom-a-zang. So did I get in? Hold on. Did I get in? Did I get in? Oh yeah. Okay. So I think, let's see what happens. I'm merging accounts, see what happens. So I had a little trouble. Like I was really talking about, like I had really frustration again. And it was about the way that Salesforce creates these Trailblazer accounts.
Do you want this going out over YouTube?
Yeah, that's fine with this right now. But I was showing you like that what happens. Like you got to be careful creating a Trailblazer account because the newest one seems to overwrite everything else. Let's see what it did. Did it do? Yeah, it jackwagoned the whole thing up again, but it did get my points and stuff there. So all right.
Yeah, I had to open a case and they reset my connection to WebAssessor.
So yeah, here's what happens if you open a training org or a Trailhead Playground or a dev account and you somehow use a different email than the one on your trailblazer.me account, it will create a new Trailblazer profile. And then if you add that email to if you take that account with a different email, and I was showing people that I use this little strategy for emails where I add a plus sign to kind of distinguish my email. And I'll show you real quick. And what it does is like I put a plus sign next to my Gmail address, right? So my email has these little markers on it right there. You see where the email address, I can't do it, so I'm used to my Mac making it. So my email address is not my normal email address, right? So it's something else. And so it creates that account. And then if you add one of these existing email addresses, it merges everything together. But what it doesn't do is it doesn't pick up all your old profile information. It uses the new profile to overwrite all of your basic information, which to me is kind of a backwards approach. It should take the older record and update things with the new record, but not overwrite the old record. So I'm now updating my my profile, and I got to redo all my information, and it's a big pain in the wanker, and I don't like it, but I got to do it anyway, because I'm learning what to do in order to add. I need to add all of my emails to all my usernames that haven't logged in officially, and add all my emails to that account, so it will not do that as much. Anyway, so here we are on the trail. It says it's a fun way to learn, but I would challenge that. What would you say, Patrick? Would you say it's a fun way to learn?
My girlfriend thinks it's a fun way to learn. She likes the cute graphics.
She likes the graphic. I was shocked to find out that some people don't like the graphics. Like some people are annoyed. They think the graphics are they're just like fundamentally, oh, like I don't know. Like I'm of the camp who doesn't care. Like the graphics are cute enough and not ugly enough to me not to care. But I did have a milestone. I finally hit the 3x Ranger mark, but in order to get points from Salesforce for my training, because I'm a certified instructor, as an instructor, I had to get over 150,000 points, which I did. I did get over 150,000 points. And it means I got a big bump of swag points, and I'm going to order some swag. We may give it away on one of the calls, but whatever we give away, that's Salesforce swag. If it's clothing, it's going to be my size. And if it's a cup or something, it'll probably be used by me. So I got these already. Like, when I'm done with this one, I'll clean it and then send it out. I'm just kidding. I'll send out new ones. But eBay.
You only get the best in prizes here at SuperUser Academy.
Yeah, stuff that's in my size and that I've tested thoroughly.
Used mugs.
Not used. End user tested. Right? It's end user tested. So we're not cheaping out on you. We're just not. What's that?
UAT.
EUT.
User acceptance training.
Well, UAT, yes. UAT is user acceptance training. I can't find you anymore. Now, where did that go? It's funny because I'm now on my PC. I've been Macing it for so long. And I literally can't find your. Oh, what did I do? I did something with you. Oh, wait. And I just don't know where the I don't see you. Like I don't see your video. Unless you hid your video. Oh, wait. There it is. Voila. I got it now. Sweet. I mean, I could see you now. This is my back deck. And I got the blur feature on, and I'm outside. It's a beautiful day. I probably got another couple of weeks for this. Such a beautiful day, man. Such a beautiful day in the neighborhood. So, Patrick, what are your questions about Salesforce?
Last night we had a question. Do we answer questions for people who don't show up?
Yeah, I think we do. We can. We don't have to. Like, clearly we don't have to, right? That's clearly no ticky, no laundry, right? If you don't show up to get your answer, then what's his name? Nicholas?
Yeah, Nicholas asked about a bachelor's degree.
And the question was, get to that. Oh, I see what I did now. I hid you there because you were out of the way. So the question was, what's the benefit of having a bachelor's of business administration in the Salesforce job market? Do you think it makes it easier to negotiate for a higher salary? The answer to that is obvious, of course. But your degree is not going to get you a higher salary. It's just going to give you something to negotiate with. Patrick, you have a degree, right? From a university or no? Well, if you don't, look, I got my degree.
I don't really like sharing personal information.
All right, fine.
On the internet.
I got a fun fact for you, though. I was listening to this podcast from Wharton University Business School, and they were talking about this knucklehead who got fired as a CEO or something because he lied about having a master's degree. And here's the thing. These guys work at Wharton, so they're at University of Pennsylvania, and they kind of said, look, here's the funny thing about getting caught doing that. A university cannot confirm or deny whether or not you have a degree with them. Like, it's sort of like sharing your health information or your personal information, right? But if you say you got a degree that the university does not offer, that's a pretty obvious indicator that you didn't get that degree from that university. So folks, if you are going to like skip the whole 4 years of school and just say you got a degree, make sure that the school you say you got a degree from actually offers that degree. Now, if they really want to find out,
the alternative is you can go to Khao Road in Bangkok and buy a
yeah,
degree.
you just buy one, right? If it's worth the investment,
from a defunct university.
Buy the degree.
Official looking degree.
And if you can't do that, learn to work Photoshop and just, but here's the deal, right? So it's sort of a racket, but it's also sort of a loophole. If the company doesn't pay the transcript fee or doesn't ask, actually, you have to do it. If you request a transcript, if the company doesn't ask you for a copy of your transcript, there's no way for them to verify you have the degree because the university cannot say you have a degree unless, like this dumbass CEO who said he had a degree that the university didn't offer. So there you go. So
now we're broadcasting people's phone numbers all over the internet too.
Yeah, we're going to stop that. So, all right, we're going to cut that out for a second because that was my bad. Sorry, internet. You just have to deal with it. I don't know what. Look, if this gets any views,
turn off the live streams.
Yeah, right. Well, I could be better prepared, but this was a Q&A, so I'm just A-ing my way through it. Do you have any questions, or do you have any other questions?
My answer to that last question would be that the only way a bachelor's degree is going to help you in the Salesforce industry is getting through the applicant tracking systems, which are just checking boxes, and the HR person or whoever creates the job description checks off they need a bachelor's degree for this position, and then the applicant tracking system is going to automatically filter out people that don't.
And that's just, by the way, and if you want a career in Salesforce, you better understand how data works and data filtering works, right? Because that's the bottom line. Why would a degree be a requirement? Because I know a lot of people who have advanced degrees and, they're not smart in any of the 8 intelligences, but they got a degree, right? Because that you can do that.
There is a serious amount of degree creep in the IT industry in general, but Salesforce in specific, where positions that used to not require degrees and shouldn't require degrees. I mean, there is no benefit to a company for a Salesforce administrator having a computer science degree.
Correct.
Absolutely zero.
But there is a benefit if you're trying to get a job and a recruiter is trying to work their way through 1,000 applicants that just came in overnight. They've got to find a way to shorten the pile.
Well, that's one way. And also, I think a lot of the people who are writing these job descriptions have degrees, and so they assume that anybody else needs to have a degree as well.
But there are 2 things that'll help your pay in the Salesforce ecosystem. That is certifications and experience. And certifications alone, I can tell you, won't cut it. But you need to get experience. And if you don't get experience, like Patrick, you came on board SuperUser Academy in December. We were practicing some platform app builder class work, and so that I could get my
March of last year.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
So March, yeah. So and then you passed the admin, and then you got the platform app builder. What certification are you working on next? Sales Cloud, Service Cloud. Awesome. That's great. That's great, Patrick. You should definitely do those 2 next. You know why? Because those 2, once you have admin and platform app builder, they really do overlap. So that's what I would call like the first 4 you need to get. You need to get your admin, your Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, and then platform app builder. Now, why do I say that? Because I got those 4. My 5th certification is being an instructor for Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, admin, and platform app builder, right? So I'm really a 8x, but really 5x, right? But those four create the foundation. Now, when you want to demonstrate you have experience beyond the work that you do for nonprofits or for your buddies or for what you put on Upwork, beyond that level of experience and discovering that you really can solve business problems, although you may not be able to unsolve a lot of their stupidity. We can talk about that at another time. The truth of the matter is the advanced admin certification is probably the next best cert to get
A
after
lot of
you've had
jobs.
after you've had experience. You
A lot.
probably won't after you've had experience, because here's the thing with the advanced. It's a lot of the same information as the essentials admin, but it takes that foundation information and the questions are really geared around the application of that knowledge in real world scenarios. So you've got to have that ability to discern the requirements of the question to what's in the answer to make sure that you're picking the right one, because it's really easy to pick the wrong solution in that. How do I know? Because I failed that test already, and I got to retake it again I think I'm planning on doing it in July. Patrick knows I got a couple of projects like going right now that are just a bear, and so that's the challenge, right? The challenge is those that certification really does demonstrate you understand how to apply really platform app builder, sales cloud, service cloud, and admin, right? You really understand that advanced admin. So that's the next one for me. And
The advanced admin has a lot of stuff about price books.
it goes deeper than the essentials, right? So it adds price books, more about price books, products, price books, territories, approval processes. Of course, they're pushing flow, right? Salesforce is pushing flow. So you're going to see more questions about flow. So complete those flow trails that are out there on the trailhead. Get familiar with what flow could do, right? Because flow is the new, what do they call it? Like the new, like flows, can't say the word I want to say. Flow's
Well,
the new ballot that they've stopped working on workflows. They've stopped developing Process Builder, although I think Process Builder is pretty awesome. They're putting all the next level of research and development and ease of use into flow.
I don't think flow is ever going to be easy for people to use that don't have some programming knowledge.
And what that might be true, because I personally don't do it like I haven't done a whole lot of flows, right? Because I have a mind for the technology in terms of training, but in actually following through and getting stuff done, Patrick knows.
I would say, and this is
I'd
just
rather
my
let Patrick do
opinion,
it.
and I have no basis for it, but I would say that flows are programming with a GUI tacked on top.
It's what programming?
They're programming. When you're doing a flow, you are basically just writing an Apex trigger, but with a GUI instead of text.
Exactly. And so, that's where Salesforce is going. So I had a meeting with one of the instructors at Salesforce, and we talked about how the platform app builder class is really the way, because of the person at Salesforce who designed the class. It's really designed not for the admin trying to get better at declarative development, but rather for a full stack developer to get integrated into what Salesforce is. So you get a very admin light in the platform app builder class, because that critical information is really just put aside. And we're really trying to say, hey, this is a no code way to do all this stuff that you're used to doing code with. And the Salesforce architecture is the opposite world. Salesforce architecture is start open, shut down, And the real world of developers is start with one person in your org using it and then add it out to everybody else. That's a very different approach. And so that class is designed to shift the mindset of a developer so that they understand what most people who've never been a developer as an admin just get taught. Oh, Salesforce starts wide open. How do I know that? Because that's the path I took. I didn't come from a developer background. I came from a training background and a business background. And I put those two together and I teach the admin class because I understand the structure of Salesforce, but the application of that structure, it definitely does take something, especially with flows. It's because right now flows are you have to be able to interpret a lot of what you want and to click. You got to go find it in the background, not in the foreground like most point and click stuff is, right? You don't just get a checkbox. You actually have to select certain things. And I think the latest release of Salesforce, the spring 21 release, has started to make improvements on that, Patrick.
I think flow is good for screen stuff. If you need a screen flow, that's a good use case for it. But
I have a use case for flows.
I don't see Process Builder being supplanted by flow anytime soon.
No, I still listen. I take a big pile of heat from one of my architects at the company I work with, because I even like using workflow rules. And he's like, workflow rules? I'm like, settle down there, Sparky. There's certain things, workflow rules, just work. They just do a great job. Why burn up one of your processes? Why burn up a flow? Because you're limited on those. Offset the basic rudimentary things you need done, especially for like internal notifications and other things like that. Like send all that through workflow, like keep it clean, and let that be easy, and just know that it's just an old workhorse, like having a wooden wagon in your backyard. You just hook a horse to it and it pulls. It just carries
One
stuff
thing
all
that's
around.
interesting to me is that, well, one, Salesforce says, oh, everybody should be using flow now. Process Builder is going away. Workflows are going away. But then you take the platform app builder test, and there's a lot of questions about workflows on there.
Right, because because a lot of people use workflows, and it matters in the real order of execution.
And also, if you look at some of the nonprofit nonprofit success pack material, Salesforce recommends not volunteering for a nonprofit coming in with all of this advanced skill level Salesforce skills and creating a bunch of solutions for the nonprofit that they're not going to be able to maintain and use after you leave.
Right.
And so I think there's a similar situation with Flow versus Process Builder. The learning curve for Flow is so much higher. The knowledge required is so much higher, and it takes a lot more time to build them. Like there's stuff that I can do with Process Builder in less than a minute. That just dragging all that crap onto the screen for a flow is going to take longer.
Yeah, I agree. So if the way to get something done is, in the declarative order, my opinion is do what you know best to get it done. And if it works, leave it alone and let it work until you have to upgrade it for some reason, like they discontinue flow, which workflows, I don't think they will, but if they did, or you finally have to do something like a chatter post or create a new record that you can only do in Process Builder or Flow, go with the next level of technology, work with that for a while, earn your stripes in that feature, and then try something else. You don't have to be good at everything. You just got to be good at getting stuff to work. That's the key. It's just got to work.
And you need to make stuff that other people can use after you're not there. Especially as a consultant where an admin is going to have to come in and deal with this stuff that you implement.
I don't disagree with you. But in the real world of the 100 orgs I've been in the back room of, and I've only been into like 150 orgs, so I haven't been in that many, right? But that's a lot, I guess. I've seen the guts for a lot of orgs. I could promise you, the older the org, the tighter the Gordian knot.
Oh,
And
no
it,
doubt.
and it's, I think it's a function of, and I don't want to make it sound like I'm saying because of someone's age, but it's the age of the leadership. Like somebody in their 50s knows they need CRM, 50, 60 years old. They know they're used to it, right? But they didn't grow up in sales with that kind of technology. So they don't have the personal feet on the street muscle memory of being that grunt back when they were a soldier, right? So like in so as they grew up, they adopted new technology, but they were never the end user of that technology. They were just the end user of the result of the end users using that technology. That is, they were just getting reports and stuff. And depending on how much they know or how much they get involved with it, they just ask what they want, they get it, they're fine. Well, that's problematic in that in the background of your operations, your Salesforce operations team, your admin or your developer or your consultant even, right? I've seen consultants do crazy things and the customer doesn't know. They're just trusting that consultant who was recommended by somebody at Salesforce. They may or may not have a good reputation. And even if they have a good reputation, the person working on your account may or may not know what they're doing and do something odd. So it's always a good idea to get some other, before you make any major moves or major changes in Salesforce, get a second opinion, right? Get somebody else to put their eyes on it and go, hey, I'm here. I want to go there. What do you think about how to move from here to there with what I got? Because once you have one set of customizations in your org, whatever instructions you get to do anything else may not always account for that. So what I'm saying is, like, if you're in Texas and I'm in Minnesota and we're both going to Denver, even though our destination is the same outcome, we're going to have to take very different routes to get there. Correct? You down in Texas, I'm not in up north, I'm in Atlanta. But if we went from Texas to Atlanta to get to, I don't know whatever, Denver, right? We're going to hit the same location, but we're not going to get there the same way. And that's what it's like with your organ. You have to be able to, that's why the advanced admin cert is so powerful, because it actually addresses that, you have the scars to prove you figured out some of that stuff, Patrick, you've been on, like, you did a couple of projects like that just recently, right? You did something for somebody and you just opened up the proverbial can of worms on their org. I know I did on a company I just did work for.
Well, there's been some circumstances where what management is asking for and their solution for it is not actually the solution. And there's a lot more moving pieces there. You can't just say, build me a process. I need a process builder to reassign these leads. Well, that's just going to address new leads. It's not going to address your 3,000 leads that are already
there. Right. You got to use data loader to update. Like, yeah, no, I agree.
Now, so.
Well, and I was we just did a project. We implemented Salesforce Field Service, which used to be formerly known as Field Service Lightning, and the company has 300 users, 79 profiles. Let that sink in for a second. 300 users, 79 profiles. And when I talked to the admin, who only been there a year or less than a year, she agreed that there was too many profiles, but she also got direction from her leadership not to change it. Like, they know how to make that decision. Like, it's no, we need all those profiles. You actually don't need all those profiles, right?
They probably need what, like 5?
They probably need 8 to 10. And the reason they need 8 to 10 is because there are different parts of the organization that need different things. Now, they might only need 5, but then you have permission set groups, permission sets, and with the groups, you can also have exceptions. So that's a new feature that came in not long ago with permission set groups, is that you can actually mute a permission or two. I can't remember how many it is, but you can take a group. Now, how I describe it in my classes is this. Think of a profile like a branch of the military. There's Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, right? Those are our 5 major, and then Star Force is a new one. We're not bringing up Star Force. Each one of those branches of the military wears a different uniform. So you think about that. That's all you need in profiles. Now, in the Marines, in the Army, in the Navy, in the Air Force, everybody's got cooks, but not everybody, so do they need, so you could put people in the same job role in the same profile. That's their uniform. And then if the Air Force cooks do something a little differently, or if they're a manager of cooks, then you can pack on the backpacks, right? You could load their basket with different ingredients, and not everybody with that uniform needs to get all the same ingredients. You can have several backpacks. So it is a way to like not have to overload your profiles. And the problem with too many profiles is it just becomes almost unmanageable when you start getting more specific data, like record types, more page layouts, more, app assignments. All those things get more complex with more paths. It's better to just have 5 different people with the same thing.
Well, have fun going into maintenance mode with 79 profiles.
Oh. I had one company that's worse. I did a class for them that had 750 users and 289 profiles.
Yeah, how are you supposed to close everybody? How are you supposed to close the org so you can make changes without people logged in?
Yeah, you got to create 279 login hours that block the weekend. Come on, man. That's just like, so, and a lot of admins don't have the parts genetically, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, however you want to put it, to tell an executive no. I think that's the one skill you have to be able to tell your clients and your superiors no. And here's why. And it's, you're asking me to do something that's just going to cause more problems down the road. So no. And it's hard to say that because some executives want what they want, no matter how ignorant they are about it. And they go from ignorant to stupid when they don't get educated. Ignorance is not a sign of intelligence. Ignorance is a sign of exposure. Stupid is we tried to take you from ignorant to educated and you fought it tooth and nail, or you couldn't handle it. So either way,
if you do
stupid.
it and then they end up regretting it, it's going to be your fault.
It's always,
they're not going to say, "Hey, sorry, I was wrong. You were right."
They're like, "You should have known better," but I told you. That's why when I teach my classes, I always tell admins to put in the description all the requests and reference the email or the chatter post or a record and who did it and when, just as a backup, because not only should you leave a trail for yourself, but also to CYA, to cover your admin and make sure you don't get.
That's a good tip. I'll have to keep that in mind.
Cover your admin, man. CYAA. Don't be an angry admin.
Yeah. It's like when I was working in the oil field and there was a rule that you always had to be wearing impact gloves. Right? Always. You always had to be wearing impact gloves. Now, when you're doing maintenance on a pump and you're trying to remove what's basically a 1,000 cc piston from a pump that weighs, I don't know, like 40 pounds or something like that, and it's covered in oil and all sorts of other nastiness, you may only have like this much space to get your hand in there to get a hold of it. And You
Got
don't
to take
want
the
to
gloves
drop it
off.
because if you drop it, it falls into the sump, and then you've got to
A bigger problem.
go diving. So you'll be doing pump maintenance, and you're just wearing nitrile gloves. Then the safety guy will come over and say, where are your impact gloves? Well, everybody knows you can't wear impact gloves when you're doing pump maintenance. It's impossible.
Right.
But the company wants the pump maintained, and if you don't maintain it, then and the pump goes down during a stage, you're fired. But if you smash your hand while you're doing pump maintenance,
You're fired.
You're fired. So
Ham sandwich.
yep.
Do you know what that means? Ham sandwich?
I'm sure it's something vulgar.
You don't know what it means. So a buddy of mine is a retired lieutenant colonel in the Marine Corps, and he was a tanker. So he rode around in tanks and blew stuff up. He did it in the first Gulf War. He went back to the second Gulf War, or he did not, whatever. So the point is, and the military is really good at doing like real world training, right? Real world scenarios. So you go out to 29 Palms in California, out by Judas Priest, not Judas Priest, what's it called? Joshua Tree, that area of the country, right? Kind of east of LA. And so you have to do these, you do these war games. And some of the guys, and you're getting graded. So you have people who are graders, right? You got to pass the test. Well, some of these guys want you to do stuff that is not what real world combat veterans will tell you that there is to do. It's just stuff that's in the manual. So the guy says, right? So they got to the point where over the radio, these guys say, okay, well, you got to maneuver there, you got to do that. And you're like, that's the stupidest thing in the world. And they just got a code. They would just say, yeah, such ham sandwich, over. Like they would just say, oh, I get it. You're telling me that because dude's at your shoulder. He's overlooking your shoulder. And I can interpret what you told me to do. I can do the right thing, or I can do what you told me, depending on who's looking. But I had to say it because I was being watched, right? So that's the nature of the world we live in. It's crazy.
Yeah, what happens in the office and what happens in the field is always very different.
Always. And even in the Salesforce world is, and every company's different. So, I mean, there's I think if you are the only admin at a company, you can take it on as a discipline of maintenance to kind of clean up, best practice it, try to make it right. But if you're like we run dedicatedadministrators.com, and if you hire one of our dedicated administrators, depending on, we do that so companies don't fall into that trap, right? So we have highly trained, well-skilled, experienced, skilled admins to take that role to maintain your org and also do the customizations in the best way possible at the time. And to tell you executives no, and do it for you, and tell your executives and explain them why they shouldn't do what they're trying to do best we can for you. But like if you're bouncing from org to org to org, depending on the org, sometimes I've popped into orgs like I feel like I'm being dropped behind enemy lines. I got to go in like a recon. I got to go in, like Mission Impossible, steal the diamond and leave because other people are messing with it. We did that project, Field Service Lightning. Literally, the client, we had a big implementation. Everything's going from the sandbox to production. And now when you do an implementation, you're supposed to copy production into sandbox and you're supposed to lock down production. So no changes happen directly in production. They all happen through change sets so that everything stays synchronized. Well, the client didn't pay attention to that. And then they got mad when the go live didn't happen because they couldn't adjust for all the differences. And there are tools that help you do that. There are tools that tell you what's not the same before you do the change. All that, there's tools to help you all that. But if you don't know, if you not work with people, if you don't have the experience to know to check all that first, things just break, and that's no bueno.
So let's I guess let's wrap this up.
We are going to wrap it up because I can't think of any other questions about your Salesforce career other than I wouldn't choose too soon what you want to do in Salesforce. There's so many different things you can do. There's no reason to pick just one. You're not stuck with it. It's like buying I told a guy one time, he was thinking about, I've had motorcycles almost all my life. And I'll probably have one right up to the end. That's what I'm hoping for. And the guy was saying, I don't know which kind of motorcycle to buy. I said, dude, just buy one. He said, when you buy your first motorcycle, that will either be your last motorcycle or just one of your, it'll bridge the gap to your next motorcycle. Have you ever had a motorcycle?
Every one I buy, I say it's going to be my last, but
that's crazy.
Well, usually after I sell it, after some near-death experience.
Yeah. I don't sell mine after near-death experiences. I just get back on them. No, I totally it doesn't matter what gun you get. It doesn't matter what guitar you get. It doesn't matter what motorcycle you get, because you're going to get one more right after it, right? Whatever, any of those three things. Now, as far as certifications though, it does matter. You need to get your admin cert. Then you need to get your sales cloud, service cloud, and then platform app builder. Those are your 4 core certifications that'll help you get experience over anybody else that's just 1 cert or 2 certs. So that's why those 2 are your next certs, Patrick, the sales and the service cloud. And they overlap with what you just studied. So I think it's a much easier time to get it now than later, because a lot of sales cloud stuff is a lot of basic admin, really. But I've done a lot of sales cloud, so I don't really remember. It's just pretty easy.
I've heard a lot of people say the sales cloud consultant test was pretty tough, but
I
know a lot of people have failed the real estate test like 7 times. So
yeah, right, exactly. So it depends. I don't know what's going to work for you, what's going to be easy. But when you commit to taking the test, don't commit to 1 date. Commit to a month of dates. Right? Plan your test. If you fail, plan on taking it a week later, and then plan on taking it every 2 weeks until you pass. And then just keep studying the parts that you missed. Just by sheer repetition alone, it's worth it. And get trained at SuperUser Academy. If anybody watches this, go get your training at SuperUser Academy. How long are we going to run that special? We have a couple more slots left before the $19 special ends, right?
Maybe till the end of June.
Maybe. Hope we sell the last few, and then the regular price will go up to $497, I think. Probably have some discounts on it initially, but $497 until we're ready to raise it to $2,000. So that's what I'm going to say. But wait as long as you want. I'd get started now. So I think that's it. Patrick, thanks for showing up. Thanks for having a good conversation. I'm going to go estate sailing now. There's a toolbox I got my eye on.
Toolbox.
Because that's another thing I can't have enough of.
You need to put some tools in the toolbox.
And then I need to learn how to use the tools. The tool requires practice to make it worthwhile. So, all right. Anything else, Patrick?
That's it for me.
Sweet.
Live. Right.